But if you believe in magic,
I do, of course.
you do believe in magic.
I did not expect that.
Because it's written.
Okay, then it must be true.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Oh, no, wait, no.
Because
No, okay.
magic is magic.
Door on the top of it, right?
It's not a door. No.
a lid.
It's not a door, Joe. Just drop it. It's not a door.
Aliens being possible.
No way.
Keep hiding the reptilians, Doctor.
Oh, sorry. It's the Intercontinental Board of Directors, you know, big shot and whatnot. Excuse me. Hello? Use the other phone? Alright, sorry, sir. Yes. Hello? Oh, yes, sir. Yeah, they just clicked for the video. I was about to call them Muppets. That's the way you get them to subscribe, right? Not subscribe, no. Oh, they expanded the procedure. Oh, that's fantastic. What else do I need to say? What book? I'm sorry, I'm in the US. I apologize, sir. Yeah, who am I to? Alright, thank you. I'll do it at once. Subscribe. It's in my book. Come to Egypt. I've been doing this for 57 years. You muppet.
Above the king chamber, a big void. Above the grand gallery.
Right.
This void, the size of 2 trucks. Now, the second void, behind the northern tunnel, another small void. Inside this void, we can see hieroglyphic inscriptions.
Really? So those are the only hieroglyphics on the Great Pyramid, right?
And I can show you the footage in my.
Do you have the footage here?
If you can come to my lecture.
Oh, come on,
in Houston.
Man. Well, what about right here, right now?
I can send it to you.
Where do you have it? Do you have it on you?
In my computer.
Where's your computer?
In Las Vegas.
Oh, well, fuck.
Oh, no.
But I can send it to you before.
Yeah, but I want to show it on the show.
Show it in the show. I can send it to you tomorrow.
Okay.
Photos were not provided. Why were the photos not provided, sir? Why were the what?
Dr. Hawass, I'm watching you.
You can send it tomorrow?
Yes.
Okay, we'll splice it in, folks.
Then tomorrow I will send it to you.
Please do. Okay,
now,
I'll give you my email.
Now,
I'll give you Jamie's email.
Yeah, give me. But you should come and. Can you come and introduce me here in Houston?
Excuse me? Can I introduce you in Houston? No, I cannot.
Why?
Because I'm very busy.
Okay, fine.
If I had known in advance, I could.
Oh, fine.
Yeah.
Fine.
Unfortunately, I don't have any free time, Zahi.
Zahi. Not Zawi.
Zahi.
Then now.
Mr. Hawass.
Then now, what we are going to do?
So this is the only pyramid, can I ask you, though? This.
I mean, to be fair, Mr. Hawass also has an accent when he tries to pronounce Joe's name, because he doesn't say Joe, he says Jo. So I mean, Zahi, you know.
Hieroglyphics inside this chamber that you've discovered. These are the only hieroglyphics in the Great Pyramid, is that correct?
No, there is in the 5 chambers, I told you.
Oh, in the other chambers.
I told you in the 5 chambers, now we have 5 names of the gangs who built the pyramids. And we have
These are all recent discoveries?
Yes.
Within how long? How recent?
This void as last year, 2024.
Wow.
The hieroglyphic discovery or 3 months ago.
So all this is isn't that fascinating that you've been studying the pyramids for so long and you're still finding things?
But listen to me what I'm going to do.
What are you going to do?
There is a friend of mine.
What are you going to do?
His name is Leslie Greif. Leslie is from Hollywood. He did with me many live TV shows, and he did with me Chasing Mummies. And Leslie now is working to find a network. To come, we need to do this program live.
Okay.
I want to show the whole world what I discovered inside the pyramid. Right. That we are not hiding anything. I want to show them the hieroglyphic.
Why do you always feel like you're in battle with people?
Because because they attack me. Go
Okay,
to
I
go.
understand
Go
that
in the,
people- I
I'm not in a
understand
battle
that-
with people.
I
They are
understand.
in the battle with me.
I understand that. But I'm giving you an opportunity to just lay things out. You
Yeah.
don't have to argue with people that aren't here.
Yeah.
You
I'm
know?
not arguing.
Fuck those people.
I'm not arguing. I'm
You know what I'm
just
saying?
telling the people.
I'm
Man,
just.
if that's not argue, imagine what argue looks like. Am I right?
fascinated by the discovery itself.
Okay, then
so
now-
what does it look like? These hieroglyphs? I know you can
No, is
read
that-
hieroglyphs,
is
right?
that science?
You can read that stuff. Right?
Yes, but we can. The signs are not clear.
It's not clear.
No, we need to do more investigation in September.
Is it a difficulty in seeing inside there? Because it's
because
dark.
when the Egyptian write inside the 5 chambers, for example, they don't write hieroglyphic. They write a cursive hieroglyphic. It's called hieratic. And this hieratic, Joe, it's very difficult
Yeah.
to read from outside.
What does that look like?
It's cursive of the hieroglyphic.
Let me see what that looks like, Jamie. That's fascinating. That's
No,
what-
this is hieroglyphic.
this is hieroglyphic. That's hieratic.
We not talk about
But on
hieratic.
the right hand side, it says hieratic.
Exactly. Look at the one on the right, this hieratic.
Okay.
Then it's very
God,
difficult.
that's so beautiful.
Yeah.
What a beautiful language. Like the way it's written,
Yeah.
it looks like art.
Then, Joe, what we are going to do before the end of this year, we are going to show what's inside this void's life.
Can you keep that up, Jamie? These symbols that look like make that larger, please. These symbols to the far left, where right below Jamie's cursor, right there. Like, what are those supposed to be?
They are signs.
But what does it mean?
Look, this.
It looks like a device
the
or
one,
something.
the one down means sish, for a determinative, a scribe.
What is the one that his cursor? That
Well, this is
it looks
the,
like a stop
the-
sign.
It's for a scribe.
A scribe.
Yeah.
But what does it mean?
Scribe.
It
sish.
means a scribe.
Sish.
Okay, I understand. So, and then the other one on the hieratic, that's the cursive version of
Now,
that.
I'm not that expert in hieratic.
Okay.
Because hieratic is very cursive.
I understand, but I think this,
But we-
this
but
is
we-
showing that, right?
Yeah.
I know, but if you look at the signs in the 5 chambers that I will send it to you tomorrow, it's very difficult to read, but you can see they are hieratic, cursive signs.
Got it.
But the most important that we are going to show this live.
Oh, wow. Okay, so people don't even know, and you're going to show all this stuff live.
We will do it live. But the other thing, we have another team called Scan Pyramids team. They are scientists from Japan, France, and Egypt.
He
I am
mentioned,
the
yeah.
scientific director who really, if they discover something, they come to me. I have to discuss it with them. And they found, the pyramid.
Yeah.
You have the entrance that the people use now is the entrance that the Arabs opened.
That's in the north face, correct?
Exactly. Above that is the main chamber.
Okay.
The team are using a very sophisticated techniques like ultrasound, infrared. With these techniques, you do not need any more to drill. You can really see what's behind the door. And this is really what I'm using right now. Then they came to me and they said, behind the main entrance of the pyramid, there is a corridor. And they showed to me this corridor clear in the 5 techniques that they're using. But
Yeah, that's interesting. Very cool.
they told me why I have to see it. Let's go up there. We went up there and they sent an optic camera through
Like a hole.
the stones.
The stone. Yeah.
And they found I could look at the corridor 30 feet long, 8 feet wide, topped with chevron shape. I think you can see that in the internet. The corridor behind the main entrance of the pyramid.
Which?
Can you get it? It's in the internet, I'm sure.
This void above the Grand Gallery,
The size of 2 trucks.
what do you think that is?
I have no idea. I'm just
Fascinating.
telling you what I found.
And
This was the Great Pyramid. I did more work
Great
on the third pyramid with the
Right.
same techniques. And
I was about to say pyramid. The Great Pyramid, yeah.
the second pyramid. This is the void.
Okay, that's,
Can you see it?
Wow, that's
Wow.
incredible.
Holy.
And I think, and bring the other big void above the Grand Gallery. I think you'll see it also.
So find the void above the Grand Gallery, Jamie. So it's 2 trucks,
The size of two tracks.
size of 2 semi trucks, and do you have any idea like what the inside?
I will tell you about my theory.
Please do.
I think that it's here. That's
So
it.
that's the void.
Yeah. Now,
and it's
Can we
that
see
shape.
it?
It's
You know-
in that direction, so it's at a slope.
it's above
At
the
an
Grand
angle?
Gallery. That's
Right.
it.
That's it.
Yeah. The Scan Pyramid Project. Now, I tell you my theory.
Please do.
We have a story written in hieroglyphic, but not at the time of Khufu. It's after Khufu. The story, it's written in a papyri. It's called Khufu and the Magician. It said that Khufu was staying in his palace, and he was very upset. He was not happy. And his son came to him, Your Majesty, why are you unhappy? He said, I'm searching for the secret of the god Thoth, the god of wisdom. Then I can design my burial chamber in the pyramid. Then his son told him, I know a magician. His name is Jidi. He knows how to cut the head of a man off and put it back.
Wow.
And he knows the secret of the god Thoth, the god of wisdom.
He knows how to cut.
Could you imagine that? Like you get to cut someone's heads off that you don't like and then you put it back, so no crime. Well, I guess it would still be a crime though. Yeah. I mean, we'll have to see about that.
The head of a man off and put it back, but is the guy still alive? Is that what he's saying?
No, this is what the son
Right.
is telling his father,
I understand
Right.
that Jidi can do that.
A lot of people can cut a guy's head off. And
But
put it
listen
back.
to the story. This is the story.
Okay.
Then the king told his son, bring this
Magician.
to me.
Magician,
Okay.
yeah.
They describe him as 100 years old, and he drink 1,000 beer. Blah, 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 blah. Jidi came in front of the king. And Khufu told him, I heard that you can cut the head of a man off. He said, yes, your majesty. He said, do it. He said, Jidi said, I cannot do it with a human being. He said, okay, I will bring you a prisoner. Jidi said, a prisoner is a human being. Then he brought
That's actually interesting because there are some cultures in which, like for instance in Japan, in feudal Japan, once you go below a certain social status, you're considered non-human. And even the Romans had some ideas on like the way they described the Gauls at first, before they got civilized, that they considered them as half beast, half human. So in fact, this you might agree immediately, of course, and say, well, obviously, yeah, or even a prisoner is a human being. Yeah, for us, but for someone in ancient Egypt, he was very forward thinking. Just want to put it out there.
him a goose. He took the head of the goose up in front of everyone. And the head came back, and the goose was running in front of everyone. That's written in the story.
Right.
Then
Do you
the
believe
king,
that?
I come back to what's believed that now.
Okay.
It's kind of a strange thing to ask, but yeah.
And the king told him, I want to know the secret of the god Thoth to design my burial chamber. He told him that this secret will not be in your hand. It will be in the hand of another people who will rule Egypt. Khufu was very upset.
So he wouldn't give him the secret because
No.
that secret won't just be in your hands. It'll get into other people's hands.
Then the
And it's
king,
dangerous.
the king was unhappy. He told them, don't worry, your majesty, because you will rule, and your sons and your grandson. Now, about magic.
Yeah.
Magic.
Do you believe in religion or not?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you know about Judaism?
Sure. A little
When
bit.
God told Moses, when Moses met God, and God told him to go to Egypt to meet the Pharaoh.
Right.
And God told him, remember, the pharaohs are highly in magic.
Right.
They will beat you. Then God taught Moses how to be more in magic than the pharaoh.
shepherds, yes.
And you remember when he heard the stick,
The stick, yeah.
and the stick became a snake,
Snake, yeah.
I think. And
Yeah, he's correct.
and Moses brought more snakes to swollen what the Pharaoh did. Then we know from books.
I don't think Moses brought more snakes. I just think that in the biblical account, Moses can turn his staff into a snake. So can the Pharaoh's magicians at court. But the thing is that the difference is that Moses' snake eats the snakes created magically by the Pharaoh's magicians. It's not that he brought in more snakes. Just want to clarify the story.
From Judaism from the beginning that the ancient Egyptians were really highly in magic, then we can believe.
Do you think that magic might have had something to do with how they constructed the pyramids? No?
No.
You don't, but if you believe that they had enough magic to take a goose's head and put it back on, it's still alive. That's magic.
Yeah.
Wouldn't they use that magic for other things?
But we have.
But if you believe in magic,
I do, of course.
you do believe in magic.
Yeah.
So you believe that someone could take.
Okay, that is I did not expect that. I'll be honest, I did not expect that. It's kind of strange on someone that, like, they're talking about the science of how the pyramids was built, and so now it's kind of strange that he says he believes in magic, specifically the idea of the goose being brought back to life after being beheaded. Still, hey, believe whatever you want. Let's talk pyramids, I guess.
Someone's head off, put it back on.
It's written.
Okay, then it must be true.
Yeah.
Oh no! Wait, no. Just because no. Okay, I take it back then. Sorry, just because it's written, then it must be true, is not enough. Because a lot of stuff is written, and yeah, just because something is written, it's true, is very. Yeah, no. Anyone can write anything at this point. I understand the face. Yeah, that's strange.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah.
What is this?
Yeah, how can you? Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! Just it's written, so it must be true. Okay.
Someone's gonna kill a dove.
It's a magic trick. Can decapitate birds and stuff.
Oh,
And put it
okay.
back together. I was just reading it. Apparently, in the trick that he did he put the head on the other side of the room and made them come back together. He did it to a calf and a different animal also. But
Now, what really I want to tell you
Well,
now.
that person's magic too. Maybe that
Now,
person can make us a pyramid.
what I want to show you that I'm not a person.
What do you think magic is?
Oh,
Magic is magic.
That's
what
what
do you
we
mean
mean,
magic
don't
is?
Well, how does it work?
I have no idea. What do you mean by how it works?
Well, I mean,
I
how
have-
does someone do something like that?
I
that
have no
seems
idea. We have to go back.
physically and
we have to go
biologically
back.
impossible?
We have to go back and you to 4,600 years ago.
And do you think a lot of this information is what was lost in the burning of the Library of Alexandria?
Of course,
'Cause
this is some of it, but
they
still,
kept unbelievably detailed
but
records,
still
right?
also, because I will tell you why we do not have any evidence about Khufu temples and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Because what happened, the ancient Egyptian believe that a pharaoh should be a male. A pharaoh cannot be a female. Anyone who changed the religious belief, they hate him. Hatshepsut, when she became a pharaoh, they hated her and they destroyed her monuments. Khufu, when he changed his cult to be a sun god, in the first intermediate period, they destroyed his monuments, the temples, the statues.
Right.
The only statue of that king was found in Upper Egypt, not at Giza. Even in the temple of his sons, there were 23 statues. They smashed the statues. A smashing was a sign of revenge. Now, do you have any question about Khufu pyramid before I switch to the Sphinx?
Well, I'm fascinated by a lot of aspects of Khufu's pyramid. Well, one of the big ones that's come up very recently that I'm sure you're aware of is these satellite radar. Was it called tomographic? What is it called? Tomographic, where they think that there's these pillars underneath the structure.
Okay. I investigated this. First of all, these two scholars from Italy, they have never been in Egypt. They have never worked in the pyramids before.
That's false. They did go. At least, if we are to believe, I have already kind of covered this following section about this. So I have a dedicated video. You'll find a link in the descriptions where I just focused on on the part where he speaks about the structures under the pyramids. But they say they have been to Egypt. I don't know if Biondi has been to Egypt, but definitely I think they have. I think they have pictures. So this is wrong. Not to mention, we are back to come to Egypt, otherwise you don't count, which is nonsense. But still, I mean, could you imagine if I said come to Rome to any, for instance, excellent American historian who knows about ancient Rome, and I'd be like, no, sorry, you've never been to Rome? Sorry, you can't speak about it. I mean, that's nonsense. But regardless, this is false. They have been to Egypt. Absolutely, they have been to Egypt.
Right. But they're using satellite information.
Number
though.
2.
Yeah, 2 satellites.
They published.
All right, so this section here, I've already covered. So I'm going to skip it, but I'll put a link so that you can just watch this if you're interested in seeing what he thinks. He doesn't believe it. He thinks it's all nonsense. Let's see what happens after this.
More advanced in terms of construction than anywhere else in the world. But that those people, because I know that Graham Hancock and Brian Mararescu have been in contact with those people. What's going on down there? But these images are repeated over and over and over again.
Fine. But
It's fascinating either way.
Okay.
The whole one of the fascinating things about Egypt to me is the fact that it's not just so much more advanced in terms of construction than anywhere else in the world, but that it's still to this day, like nothing even close has ever been even attempted to this day. What do you think was going on back then as far as their capabilities and their understanding?
What does it mean not even anything has been attempted? I mean, there are plenty of monuments. A lot of monuments are taller than the pyramids. So I'm not sure what he means by that. I mean, look at the skyscrapers we built, like New York, Tokyo. I honestly don't know what he means.
Led them to do something so spectacular that other people 4,500 years ago.
Again, the belief of the afterlife built Egypt.
National project.
But they also had to have the understanding of engineering and construction and design.
To do this belief of the afterlife, to build the pyramid, as I told you, this was a national project of the whole nation.
I understand it's a national project, but they have to have knowledge.
You can talk about this pyramid.
Joe is right in this.
If it exists alone, when you come to Egypt and you go through time, you will see that everything gradually. There is no gap that you can.
What do you mean by that?
There is no gap for anyone to think something different than the belief of the Egyptians.
Well, I don't think anybody's saying that.
No, I think what he means by this, I understand, I believe. I think what he's trying to say is that people claim sometimes that, of course, including Armando May, that the Egyptians didn't build the pyramids, which means that another civilization, whether it be Ice Age, whether it be alien, has arrived. The Egyptians don't know how to make this. The civilization builds the pyramids, then eventually they leave, and that's it. So the Egyptians didn't do anything, they didn't have the technology, but now they find themselves with the pyramids. But what he's saying now is that because there are so many pyramids, and we also see through time the development of the techniques and how some pyramids are built better than others, and I think that's what he's trying to say. Like, otherwise, if it was just a civilization that arrived, built the pyramids, and then left, maybe that's where he's trying to go.
Well, maybe some people are. Maybe some people do. But, I mean, it's all the Egyptians. Obviously, it was in Egypt. I mean, It's the Egyptians that made it.
Well, then you disagree with Armando May, and which most likely means you disagree with the entire team. Just so you know, Joe.
Yes.
It's pretty obvious. That just seems obvious.
Then if you believe in that, I'm happy. I'm happy to hear this from you.
Yeah. Well, I just think whenever people say it's aliens, or like, where's the proof of that? But
exactly.
Also, they built a lot of spectacular things. Like, no ifs, ands, or buts. Just the statues, just the faces of the pharaohs with incredible symmetry.
That's why I want, since you
The
are...
incredible symmetry in statuary has also been achieved by Greek and Roman sculptures. In fact, I personally find classical European sculpture to be better when it comes to the way the statues are represented than an Egyptian one. I'm not trying to downplay. I'm just saying he makes it sound like only the Egyptians did it. Now, given 4,500 years ago, then you have a point. It's like, yeah, who else was doing it? But, you know, it just shows that the civilization was very advanced at the time. And it's interesting, intriguing. Just wanted to clarify, though.
Are interested in Egypt. We would like to invite you to come to Egypt.
I want to come.
Come to
I just,
Egypt.
it's for me. It's
we
just I'm
we are
very
willing to
busy.
invite you.
I'm willing to go.
Okay,
Let's go.
tell me when.
Okay.
And I will arrange everything for you.
Okay, we'll hook it
but,
up.
But now I want to come to the Sphinx also.
Okay.
Can we
It's
talk?
not the easiest thing for Joe Rogan to be able to continue the debate while dodging the continuous invitations for a free trip to Egypt that occur every 15 to 20 seconds.
Talk about the
Yes,
Sphinx?
please.
Now, you know, when I was young, I was met by the Edgar Casey son,
the psychic guy.
Hewlin Casey.
Yeah.
And Hewlin Casey was the son of Edgar Casey. I was young. I really do not know what this Casey had. When he came to Egypt and talked about me, about his father, you know about Edgar Casey.
Yeah.
Okay, then it
He
is
had a vision that there was a chamber underneath the Sphinx's paw.
underneath the right paw of the Sphinx, there is a
Right.
chamber.
And he envisioned that, correct?
Yes, and this is why I'm going to Virginia Beach to give a talk. One of the cities in my tour now is Virginia Beach. Why? Because when people began to tell me there is something inside the Sphinx, I really, as I told you, I have an open mind. And I did search.
Do you?
I found inside the Sphinx 4 tunnels. One behind the stela. They call it dreamy stela, between the two balls of the Sphinx. And the second one behind the head in the top.
Right. There's actually a door on the top of the head now.
No,
right?
no.
Like, so
Just,
there's a lid.
just a
right?
tunnel,
A tunnel.
25
But isn't
feet.
it closed off though?
No, yeah, it's closed. Yeah,
Yeah. There's like a door on the top of it.
it's
Right?
not a door. No.
a lid.
It's not a door, Joe. Just drop it. It's not a door.
Just a tunnel. Go down.
Okay. But it's closed off.
It's a hatch.
It's you cannot go up to the Sphinx. That's why we have to cover it,
Got
because it will take rubbish and garbage.
Well, that's the top. That's what I'm talking about. Isn't that the top of it?
It's a hatch.
Is this a Sphinx?
told
Yes,
you
that's
guys.
it.
Okay, that's a lid, right?
Yeah,
Told you guys.
we,
That's what I
we,
said.
we covered it.
Okay. Yeah.
But we covered it
Got it.
to protect it from the
I
sand.
understand.
But it's not a
Yes.
door.
Okay.
It's not
a-
a door. Okay, listen. Don't mess with me, okay? Don't mess with me. You can call it a hatch. You can call it a lid. You can call it a cover. You can call it whatever the heck you want. You can call it a Muppet if you want.
It's not a door, Joe Rogan.
The third tunnel that I found in the back.
Now, Edgar Casey,
But
he
it-
had this vision that there was some hall of information.
I
that
know,
was
but
down
I'm going to come to this now.
there. Yeah.
But I'm talking to you about the tunnels now. And the third one is in the tail. The fourth one was opened in 1927 by a French, his name is Monsieur Perez. And I do have photos of workmen inside the Sphinx. We found these 4 tunnels are published.
By me.
An article, scientific article. I found in situ, in all the 4 tunnels of pottery, in situ, to prove that these tunnels were opened on Dynasty 25, 500 BC, as in the late period. When the Egyptians saw the Sphinx, they thought there is something hidden underneath. And they dug, and they found nothing. Now, we come to the Edgar Casey and what people believe, because we had John Antonowist, and we had many New Age people who believe there is something hidden underneath the Sphinx.
He has a thing against New Age. I mean, I do remember in the 90s, sometimes it can be a little annoying, some New Age stuff. But then again, he said this multiple times. It's not a door.
And they used to tell me, we need your permission. To what? To drill. I said, how can I let someone who's not an archaeologist, who's not a scientist, to drill? No way.
Right. Fair.
But recently, I found out the rise of the water table in front of the Sphinx. And I was really afraid that the water could damage the Sphinx. Then I brought a team from Cairo University, and we did drill 30 to 35 feet underneath the Sphinx, everywhere. And I do have photos of everywhere under the Sphinx.
Okay.
The Sphinx is a solid rock or a living rock, and there is nothing underneath.
So there's no tunnels.
No tunnels. This is
Okay.
exactly.
Okay.
I told you what.
What do you think about Robert Schoch and his theory about
Ooh,
the
the
temple
face.
and the
Okay.
erosion outside of the Sphinx, that it's
Okay.
water erosion?
Interesting. Yeah.
When Schoch said that, okay, we brought through the American Research Center a scientist from Louisville University. I don't remember his name now. And we gave him what Robert Schoch. You know what Robert Schoch said? It's not his theory. It's a theory of a New Age guy who talked
Age.
about this before, and John Anton West brought
Schwala.
I don't remember. who.
Yeah.
Then we
That's the guy.
gave this guy from Louisville University, who was an Indian American, who really studied. He came to the Sphinx, and he worked with us for a season. And he came, and we published many articles that the erosion that you see outside and inside the Sphinx is from wind and not from water.
I'll have to review this study because I did find, I know what they are talking about the erosion, although then again, I'll have to give him credit. The way he pronounces erosion makes it sound a lot more like actual erosion than the word erosion, the way I pronounce it, but regardless. I did find it interesting, the whole discussion with the water. So he says it's wind. I'll have to look into the study.
Now, what Schoch want to say? That this is dated back 15,000 years ago. I agree. Okay, if I came here and I dug the Sphinx, I will leave something. Then what I did, we dug an area northeast of the Sphinx. I found level Old Kingdom, Middle Kingdom, New Kingdom, Roman, nothing underneath. Then this New Age people say that the head of the Sphinx is very small comparing to the body.
Right.
Yeah,
yes.
they do. Yeah.
Why?
I mean,
Why?
not New Age people, though. It's not New Age people. I even said, right, yes, people say that the original head probably looked like a lion. There are some people that say that because, yeah, the current woman's head does look smaller in comparison. It's not New Age people, though, but let's see his answer.
If you take all the casing stones away from the Sphinx, you'll find exactly here the Sphinx, and now this, and another part like this. In between, there is a hollow. Remember, I told you that Giza Plateau is divided to 3 levels. Level 1 and 2 is very bad stones, can be seen to the chest of the Sphinx.
Right.
Level 3, they carved the head from level 3. Then when the Egyptian carved the head to represent the King Kefren with the cobra, the royal head Remes, they began to make a lion body. Then what they did, they filled this hollow between the 2 Sphinx pieces with stones. And they covered the whole body of the Sphinx with stones. And they did the modeling of the lion body on the covering stones.
The lion,
and this is why the head is very small comparing
So
to the
you
body.
think the head was made first and then the body was made later?
Exactly.
If that's the case, why is the body so much more eroded
I
than the head?
told you, the body,
did?
it is a part of the bad stones.
Bad stones.
The top
more
one is the head.
porous stones.
Exactly.
So
For
there's
the,
a different density to the stones. That's why the stone in
quality.
the Sphinx's head is intact, and the
because
body
it's
is
level
a softer
level
stone.
it's level 3
So it's a different kind of stone.
exactly
Got it.
of the body,
Interesting.
and this is why the
Because there's
Egyptian,
layers to it all,
the
and
Egyptian,
some of the layers are more dense.
The Egyptian wanted to make a lion body. They couldn't. The only way is to cover the body of stones and do the modeling of the lion body on the covering stones. Can we take 2 minutes rest?
Yeah, sure. You want to take a break?
Yes, to go
Okay.
to this
Okay.
bathroom.
Okay, go to the bathroom.
problem,
You know where it
no
is?
problem.
Yes.
Just go outside,
No
take a
door.
left.
No
we're
door.
back.
Don't tell him about the door to the bathroom, though. Guys, open it. Open it. Come on. He hates doors. Welcome back. Welcome back.
The
Let's
Sphinx.
go. Sphinx.
Let's pick up where we left off. So you were saying that these other experts that looked at it didn't agree that it was water erosion and said that they think that it was wind. So what John Anthony West and what Graham Hancock and what Robert Schoch and all these different people are trying to allude to is that perhaps there was even older stuff that was in Egypt, and that the things that you're seeing that are 2,500 BC, those are even more recent than the older stuff. Tell me about Zep Tepi.
What's Zip-Tippy? What's this?
You never heard about... Have you heard about about the King's List, right? The old King's List that goes back 30,000 whatever years.
Who said that?
You never seen it? It's not in hieroglyphs.
This is not true.
It's
at
not true.
all. No.
No.
Oh my gosh. I hate one thing I cannot stand about Dr. Hawass is that even when he doesn't understand, like in this case, you can't say, oh, this is not true. It's a lie. Wait. First, understand what Joe is saying. You need to keep asking questions. Sorry, what are you talking about? I understand he said, who said it? Still hasn't had that answer. What are we discussing? Give me the name, show me the thing. And then you can say, oh, it's this. He just immediately says, no, it's not true. It's not true. And that to me feels disingenuous. It's like this guy is going to say no, whether it's right. The split second he thinks anything is going to contradict the established position that he is representing.
This is a speculation from people who knows nothing about history. There is nothing King List dated back 30,000 years ago at all.
So why do people keep saying that?
Because they don't know. It's speculation. Give me one evidence of that. The first King List dated back to Dynasty 5. Only.
I was reading that people were saying that it was myth, that the King's List, even though there is like some hieroglyphics of ancient kings, that these are just mythical tales.
This is not true. There is no at all a name that you told me. I never heard of this name. I am an Egyptologist.
So if that's the logic, if he has never heard of a name, it means they're liars, and it means that they know nothing and they don't know any history and they're making things up. Yeah.
Working in Egypt for the last 57 years. I never heard of this King List at all.
Never?
Never. And
you never even heard of it?
Why I have to hear about it? Because it's not true. I don't want to waste my time in things like this.
He's losing me.
I am a person, give me a fact.
So
tell me, where is this list?
Egyptian, Zep Tepi
I am a person, give me a fact. But then he says, as long as something is written, it must be true, even if it's magic. A little bit of a contradiction.
Refers to the first time or the first occasion.
Who said that?
This is an AI. It refers to a mythical golden age of Egypt where gods lived on earth and civilization was in its infancy. This period is often associated with the beginning of creation and the establishment of societal structures. Have you've never heard of that before?
No, and this is not true.
What do you mean it's not true? I mean, this is.
If it's written, sorry, man, but if it's written, Mr. Hawass, it must be true. That is your method. That's your methodology, sir. We're just applying your method. If it's written, it must be true.
It never happened at all.
Okay, I'm not saying it happened. I'm just saying that this is something that's referred to.
I never heard about it.
And
it is
so
not true. Happened. It has not existed at all.
Even if it doesn't exist.
These are the words of a propagandist. These are the words of a propagandist, guys. I think we just unmasked him. Sorry, but that's unmasked.
The myth of it exists.
Listen, Joe. Why do I have to go to a myth of people create stories?
If you go to Wikipedia,
I don't care about Wikipedia.
I understand.
I care about what I see in my eyes as an archaeologist or a philologist.
In all the myths, the world was said to emerge from an infinite lifeless sea when the sun rose for the first time in a distant period known as Zep Tepi, the first occasion. Different myths attributed to the creation of different gods, the set of 8 primordial deities called Ogdod, the contemplative deity Ptah, and the mysterious transcendent god.
At this point, I don't know why he's pushing it, though. Why is Joe Rogan continuing to read this if Zahi Hawass has never heard of this? It's kind of pointless. Like, what's the point now?
Moon, while describing these different cosmologies, competed to some extent. In other ways, they were complementary in different aspects of Egyptian understanding of creation. It's the Egyptian creation myth.
Fine.
You've never heard of that before?
Never heard of that.
That
because-
seems strange that you didn't hear about that before.
Listen,
because
listen, Joe.
I've heard of it before.
Fine, you can hear about
But I
it.
mean, I just found it
It's a
online.
it's a new age theory.
It's New Age?
Yes.
New Age, guys.
Listen to me. I know.
Damn New Age people indoors.
And any Egyptologist who study Egyptology in the States here, you have universities in UCLA, and you have Berkeley, and you have John Hopkins, and you have every Egyptologist here study languages and archaeology. No one can answer what you are talking about. This is hallucination. I'm sorry. This is not true. It's a speculation from people. But never in Egypt, we know the prehistory of Egypt. We know the pre-dynastic of Egypt. We know the beginning of civilization. We know there is no gap in anything that can let some things like that. And that's why I never heard of it, and I don't want to hear about it.
You don't want to hear about it?
No,
Want
why?
To hear about, man,
Because
that's gatekeeper.
There is no evidence. I am a scientist.
How do you know that there isn't any evidence about something you've never heard of and you don't want to hear about? I'm not actually defending, I'm playing devil's advocate here for a second. But I'm saying, no, that's not the strategy, that's not the method of academia. So you make a statement, you look at the statement, now that you've seen that there is no evidence, you say it's not true. But if there is evidence, then you have to be ready to change what the current understanding, because that's great. You shouldn't cover it up. What I'm saying is what he's doing instead is propaganda and control of information. That's exactly what they do. So something is being pushed before you even see. You say there is no evidence. I don't want to hear it. I don't care. It's not. It's false. It's true. You have to apply science and reason and logic. And then a minute ago, he told us that if something is written about a goose being beheaded, then it's true because magic is real. What?
I believe on what's written in front of me, and I believe of a scene that I can see. But I don't believe on theories like this. Tell me where is this found, and where it is, and who published it. What is the scientist who published it? What
I'd
is
like
the
to know.
Egyptologist who talked about it?
I'd like to know. That's why I'm asking you.
I've never heard of it.
He doesn't
Well,
know.
I'm shocked that you haven't at least heard of it and dismissed it before. That seems weird to me. Because it's just I think it's a part of the creation myth.
I know, but it's not true. I received many theories every day. My mind, Joe, now is really cannot stand all these theories, all of it.
New Age.
It's too much for me.
New Age, yeah.
It's too much for me.
Got it. See if you can find anything on that, Jamie, where that myth came from.
I'm working on it. I think I know.
Yeah?
Yep.
Is it a Bouval thing?
Oh, Boval. No, I don't think
What I
so.
just found is that it came from a.
Boval is the
Who's
one with
Boval?
the... Oh my gosh, who's Boval? Robert Boval, the one about the correlation theory with Orion and the three pyramids in the order of Orion. There is no way he doesn't know that one.
But he's not a scientist.
No, I'm just
Yeah, I
asking.
know. Those people, yani, when someone came to you with a theory, he has to have a Egyptology background. He has to write a scientific article. We
Right,
write
gatekeeping.
all what we discover. We write articles about them for people to read and criticize and give us opinion. But I can go to theories like this
I understand.
that has no
what,
basis.
What do you base the dates on? Do you base it on carbon isotope?
No, we don't. We
No?
based dating on the evidence that we discover.
Right, but
Like
some of it
dynast-
is based on carbon, right?
No,
Carbon testing.
I don't believe in carbon date 14 at all.
You don't?
No,
Why not?
carbon date 14 never given accurate dating.
That's not true. Carbon date 14 does give accurate dating. Sometimes it's not infallible, and sometimes it gets stuff wrong. But to say that's another state, that's again propaganda. That's false. Sometimes some carbon dating is correct. Other times carbon dating may be incorrect. It's true. It's not like the infallible, perfect, ultimate authority on dating, but it's not true that it has never. This is an insane statement to make.
And that's why I believe, when you discover something, if you discover a symmetry,
Right.
there is two types of datings. One called absolute dating. Means that in this cemetery, you have a name of a king and a date. Mean this is absolute. But if you discover another cemetery and has no dates, then the best thing that we do is to find the artifacts
Yeah.
in this cemetery
Architecture,
and
style.
try to compare it with other
Yeah.
dated cemetery.
Sure.
And you give a date for this.
But you don't believe in
I
carbon
don't
testing.
believe in carbon-14 at all. And it's not working in Egypt until today. I have been I'm excavating also in the Valley of the Kings.
I think I know.
Right.
And
why.
I discovered
I'll tell you.
major important things that we can talk about it.
So if you're going back
but I
2,500 years,
used radar
radar.
in all my excavation.
What do you mean?
And I never had a result by radar. And carbon date 14, people use it when there is no date.
But wait a minute, you use radar to
Yeah, I'm a little confused with what he means, but this might be again a language barrier. I think I know why he says carbon dating doesn't work. It's probably because, of course, he's using those two methods that he just mentioned when it comes to dating. But then again, he is used to being the ultimate authority with government funding, used to be in the ministry and all that. So if someone then, if it ever happened in these 50 years that someone tried to use carbon dating to date something and the dating was different from what he said, which remember, it's speculatory, so you can be really good at it, but you could also get things wrong. He immediately said, I am right. I discovered. So you don't tell me, have you ever been to Egypt? I've been doing this for 57 years. It's in my book. And so that's probably why he had to then assume this stance. Carbon dating is never right. Carbon dating is always wrong, because probably he was wrong in one of his datings. And instead of accepting that possibility, which is something that any scholar with a modicum of intellectual honesty would have to do, to accept the fact that they may be wrong sometimes, I think this is what happened, guys. I can't prove it, but this is my hypothesis.
date things? How?
No, I use radar to discover things.
Right. But what do you use
That
to
has
date
nothing
them?
to do
I dated, as I told you, two methods of
the
dating.
methods. Yeah.
Yeah.
Most of the dating that for me now in Luxor is based on evidence. Like I discovered the Golden City. It's a major, big, large cemetery, large settlement, a city. And you know, this city was chosen the most important discovery in the world of year 2021 because this is the first time that we have a big, large city to tell us about the people who made this civilization.
So how do you know how old the city is?
Exactly. In the city, we discovered the names everywhere of King Amenhotep III, who was the father of Akhenaten. Inside the city, we found many statues of his queen, Queen T. We found inscriptions about dried meat stored to celebrate the third Set festival of Amenhotep III. We found 9 royal workshops in the city. Then the city tells us about the golden age of that king. It is
Right.
dated by pottery, by hieroglyphic inscription,
Cool.
by
I
many
understand.
things.
But I'm
Even linguistic.
curious as to why you're skeptical about carbon dating, because I think carbon
know-
dating
I
is
know-
generally accepted as
I
being
know it is.
accurate
It
within
is.
a certain framework.
It is, but
right?
I never used it, and many people
But-
very rare to use it in Egypt
Yeah, accurate up to a certain extent, I think, rather than within a certain framework. Yeah, up to a certain extent.
because in Egypt mainly we have absolute chronology, we have absolute dating based on inscriptions.
Right, but I thought it was used in Egypt, like to measure wood that was in mortar.
I
To
don't know.
date the Great Pyramid to 2,500 BC.
No,
I
that
thought it
was an experiment to date the pyramid. I think was about 2009, and it's not working.
But
I didn't see the result.
you haven't seen a result on carbon testing of the mortar of the Great Pyramid?
Yeah, because he doesn't want to see it. Remember, guys, he just said it. He just confessed. He said it didn't work. I didn't see it. He didn't even look at the results. That's what he does. That's not a professional. I'm sorry, guys.
No, but the mortar you can't. one thing. The mortar between the stones.
Right.
This mortar, like if you take a piece of stone from the pyramid and you try to take carbon-14, this piece of stone could be thousands of years in the quarry. It cannot date a pyramid. How can you
Well,
date?
hold on. You
But
don't,
you don't
date
use it
stone.
for stone. Yeah,
I'm
it's
saying
organic.
if you date mortar,
Okay.
He doesn't
how can you
understand.
say accurately that this mortar is dated to the same time of building the pyramid?
Well, you can actually. That's the argument is that there's probably repairs done, right? And so
Of the
that-
pyramid?
Yes.
No, of the Great Pyramid, there is no
There's no
evidence
repairs,
of any
there's no
restoration.
renovations, no restoration,
never,
nothing?
Never any accurate evidence that the pyramid was restored
Right, but
in
there-
any period of the Egyptian history.
There is restoration that goes on even now, though, on the Sphinx, correct?
I did make 10 years of restoration on
Yeah.
the Sphinx. It's me who did the restoration of the Sphinx for 10 years.
Why did you decide to do that?
Because the Sphinx, when I left, I was studying in the States. I came to take my doctorate from University of Pennsylvania from 1980. From 80 to 87, some architect and archaeologist were really stupid. They began to restore the Sphinx, and they took all the casing stones of the Sphinx out, and they put modern stones, and they used cement.
Oh no.
You cannot use cement in the restoration. You can use cement in building a house.
Yeah, that's not even.
It's kind of strange, though, that he says that, because maybe he doesn't know that there was an earthquake in Sicily, and unfortunately some of the temples, for example, in the area of Selinunte, we have temples that are 3,000 years old from the Greek colony there, and they collapsed. Now, to rebuild the temple up, unfortunately, some of the stones, some of the elements of the columns were destroyed. So to still make it stand, they did use cement a little bit. And then make it in the same color so that it's almost entirely original, but there are some elements where, unfortunately, due to the catastrophe, you couldn't use them, and so the column wouldn't have been able to stand anymore, that they did use cement to build it up, to restore it. So I don't know. Not that I'm saying that I agree with the people that put cement on the head of the freaking Sphinx. No, I think that's absurd, but the statement was a little strange.
In restoration, this is
Then-
a new creation.
When I came, I stopped this restoration.
Okay.
And because this restoration damaged completely the proportions of the Sphinx. It brings to you another Sphinx,
Right.
Exactly, yeah.
ugly.
Yeah.
Few months later, there was a stone was restored in the shoulder of the Sphinx, and it fell down. In February, it was raining, and always people use the Sphinx for politics.
The Sphinx?
The
For
Sphinx.
politics?
Yeah, if they
In what
want.
way?
I tell you, it happened the first time in the Pharaonic period. You know, the area beside the Sphinx was called the Valley of Gazelles. And the princess of the new kingdom used to come to hunt wild animals in the valley and come to worship the Sphinx. And this story that I'm telling you is written in a granite stela. It's called the Dream Stela, located now between the two poles of the Sphinx.
Stele.
In the stela, it say that Thutmose IV was a prince, and he came to have a nap beside the Sphinx. And the Sphinx came to him in dream and told him, "My son, if you remove the sand away, I will make you the king of Egypt." Then he removed the sand, and he came to a temple. He found a door.
What year was this?
This is 3,000 years ago, exactly.
So the Sphinx was constructed long before then.
Before the old kingdom.
And then it had been covered in
Yeah,
sand.
fourth
Yes.
dynasty, maybe?
Completely. This is why Herodotus, the father of the history, when he came to Egypt in the middle of the 5th century BC, he never talked about the Sphinx because it's completely under the sand. Then when Thutmose IV came, he took the sand away, and he found that the old kingdom casing blocks are falling down. He put them back. And he went to the Sphinx, a temple nearby. He took this granite stele as a door, and he wrote this story in it. But we found there is something politics in that story. He killed his elder brother,
Ooh.
who was supposed to be the king of Egypt.
Political violence.
And he wrote this story to tell the Egyptian that
Mystical
the god
in nature.
Hor Im Achet,
As
Horus
a form of justification.
of the horizon, it chose me to be the king of Egypt. Then they will forget the crime that he did. When that stone, it fell down in 1988, a big fight happened between the head of Antiquities and the Minister of Culture. Ended by firing the head of Antiquities. It's politics.
I
But
see.
I stayed 10 years. When people ask me about the best thing that I did in my life, I say two things. Number one, that I restored the Sphinx. I brought the proportions of the Sphinx back.
Right.
And I restored the oldest pyramid in Egypt, the Step Pyramid. It was falling down. In 14 years, I made major important conservation and restoration. And I tell people,
Now, all of this is great. I'm glad he did. I don't know what that has to do with the questions that Joe Rogan is asking, though, because it looks more like a self-proclamation. Look how good I am. Look what I have done. Like, I think people know that he had important positions when it comes to Egyptology and archaeology in Egypt. I think we all know that. So now this is like, what, 10 minutes? A continuous I did this. Look at me. That's what it sounds like. And I don't understand what it's bringing to the table in terms of, like, no one is questioning. Like, if Joe Rogan had said, well, who do you think you are? I don't think you're that important. What did you do? Then I get it. He can say it and defend his position, but I don't understand. It feels like out of place.
why do we have to fight all the time about the age of the pyramid? We have to fight, or we have to cooperate, all of us, to restore these monuments.
Right.
And the most important thing
It's
is
not
for
a
me,
fight. It's not a fight. That's the basis of academia, is to present an argument and have counter arguments. If you have a problem with people countering whatever thesis or theory or hypothesis that you present, then you have a problem with academia. You're not doing academia, you're doing politics. That's exactly how it works.
me always is conservation. And I dedicate most of my life not only to the excavation, but to conservation.
What do you think the arguments are that predate that try to push the date
He's gonna
back
say it's nonsense. New Age.
of the construction of the pyramids?
I never heard of this.
You've never heard of this
No,
before?
it's only new. It's a theories
Right,
from
but-
the new age.
But I
No,
know I
no,
saw a
no.
debate with
Yeah.
you. I saw a debate with you and Graham Hancock, and there was another archaeologist.
That was
But
no.
hold on. The other archaeologist was saying, if you're saying that something happened 10,000 years ago, where's the evidence of any
Exactly.
civilization from 10,000 years ago?
Exactly.
But then you found Göbekli Tepe. So Göbekli Tepe was buried
Right.
over 11,000 years
That's
ago.
not true. I never heard about this.
What do you mean it's not true?
He has never heard of Göbekli Tepe. Oh my gosh.
It's not true what I told you.
What
Have
is
you ever heard of pitch in Japanese? No? Then it doesn't exist, guys. It doesn't exist.
it's not true?
It never
Göbekli
happened.
Tepe?
We never discovered this at all.
Wait a minute. Göbekli Tepe is in
You're right.
Turkey. Okay.
Oh, in Turkey. Listen.
Yes.
Okay.
Now-
Göbekli Tepe is
listen,
in
listen.
Turkey.
I
and
know,
it's
but
more
listen.
than 11,000 years old.
Okay, fine,
It's
fine.
very complex stone structures.
Fine.
But this was the evidence.
We are
hold on.
No.
This is the evidence in the argument. The argument was there was no evidence of an ancient civilization from 10,000 plus years ago. This is before the discovery of Göbekli Tepe. Göbekli Tepe gets discovered known to be more than 11,000 years ago. That changes everything. Because
No.
now we know. Yes, it does.
That's
'Cause
changed
now,
for
hold
what?
on. Because now we know there was an advanced civilization capable of a spectacular construction 11,000 plus years ago.
This is what. Listen.
New Age.
Look at the archaeologists in Turkey or in any civilization.
Okay.
They never talk about old civilization.
That's not true. Göbekli Tepe is universally
Okay.
accepted
Okay,
as being
Joe,
more than 11,000 years
I
old.
am talking now about Egypt. I'm not
No,
going
I
another
understand, but the
civilization.
argument was that there was
What
never
are
any ancient civilization.
Yeah, this is easy. I don't know why Dr. Hawass is not capable of answering this without being contemptuous. It's easy to respond. You can just say, okay, so Göbekli Tepe is 11,000 years old. That's interesting. So basically you're using that to say that maybe there was something in Egypt as well 11,000 years ago, but I don't have evidence to prove that. So I can accept that there is a civilization in Turkey, but I don't see any evidence that that would connect it to the pyramids being dated further back. It's easy. You don't need to say this is not true, this is false, this is new age. It's, oh gosh, I can't stand him. I cannot stand Dr. Hawass.
Capable of spectacular construction 10,000 years ago. Now that they showed Göbekli Tepe is more than 11,000 years
Right.
old, they know for sure that's not true.
Okay, but now I'm talking about the pyramids of Egypt. I have the evidence, the written. We found everything about that. We know the dating. And I give you hundreds of evidence that this pyramid built by Khufu or Kefren.
No,
or
I'm
Menkaure.
not saying it wasn't. I'm not saying it wasn't.
any-
What I'm saying is
Any civilization older than we know,
older
we
and
have
still
no,
in the same
we-
spot.
We,
How
have,
old
we have
does it
no,
go back?
We have no evidence.
So how does ancient Egypt emerge?
Emerge, we have,
How does it emerge and go from zero to pyramids?
okay, we have, do you have, can you listen to me?
Yeah.
We have prehistoric Egypt,
Right.
and we have the old Stone Age, Middle Stone Age, Neolithic, when the Egyptians began to know about agriculture, and they began to live together in communities. Then after that, we came to the pre-dynastic, when a king called Narmer, in Dynasty 0, he began to make unification of the Upper and Lower Egypt, until one king called Mena or Horaha, who united completely.
And what year was this?
This is what was 3000 BC, 5,000 years ago. In a place called Abydos, they built huge mud brick tombs. Huge. From mud brick, no stones. And these tombs are created in a site called Abydos.
You know what's really fascinating about this is that 500 years, you think about that, how different just modern civilization was 500
5,000.
years ago. 500 years ago, we had almost none of the inventions we have today.
Oh, no, and he was discussing like now the medieval period and now yeah, sure, okay.
We had
sorry.
no internal combustion engine, you know, no hardened steel, with none of the things that we have. And then,
Wait, 500 years ago, Joe Rogan, we absolutely had hardened steel. It's a medieval thing. It is absolutely a thing, so you're incorrect. In fact, a lot of medieval suits of armor are medium carbon steel that has been heat treated and hardened. And a lot of the swords that they were using in the medieval period were high carbon steel. So, yeah, I mean, he's wrong when it comes to that.
now look what we have with electronics. Now imagine
Sure. Still,
what the
point
Egyptians
is
were able to
valid.
do in 500 years in a different way in construction with stone. That their advancements weren't like our advancements, but their advancements were equally spectacular, just in a
I don't know. I mean, 500 years of distance, technological distance, between 1500 AD and 2000 AD, the difference is huge. Still, the difference between 1900 and probably 2100 will be bigger. In fact, the difference, because it's exponential. The growth in technological advancement is exponential. Even the difference in the last 30 years is bigger than the difference that you have had for hundreds of years before. And for instance, the difference in 500 years in the Paleolithic would be nothing. Almost nothing. And even at the end of the day, the difference, so it depends where you put these 500 years. They're not equal.
different way.
Okay. Now I come back to the mud brick structure.
They're not listening to each
This
other.
is in
at
Dynasty
all.
1
Okay.
and 2.
Oh, no.
On Dynasty 3 came a king called Zoser.
Zoser.
He had a genius architect. His name is Imhotep.
Oh, yeah, sure.
I am searching. Did you hear about Imhotep before?
Yes.
Okay. I'm searching for his tomb. Only 2 weeks ago, before I came, I made a major important discovery in Egypt. I found a tomb of a son of a king. Inside, incredible statues of Zoser and his father and his queens and his children.
Where's this tomb?
In the shadow of the step pyramid. In the shadow of Zoser. And this really made me, because I have been searching for the tomb of Imhotep most of my life. But the area that I found this tomb, it was under houses, modern houses.
Oh, wow.
The workmen who work in the site, 100 years ago, they built houses in the site. But they never excavated what's underneath the houses.
Wow. So modern houses, and underneath there's an ancient
Then,
tomb.
6 months ago, we gave houses to these people in another area, and we demolished these houses.
No.
And we found underneath
Poor people.
major discoveries. This discovery will be in today's show this
I
week.
think if it's a fair government doing that, you need to give him better houses. It needs to be an upgrade. Are we all on the same page here? If you destroy someone's house, you gotta give him a new house that is better. There needs to be an improvement, possibly in a better area as well.
Now, I am sure now that Imhotep's tomb is in this area.
Wow.
Now I come
And
back.
what technology can you use to discover like
You
these
know,
underground caverns and chambers?
Joe,
And
all what I do is digging.
that's it?
That's it.
What if these Italian guys
radar.
are onto something? You can find more stuff.
I want you to come to see what I do and what I discover.
I want to. I
And-
want to
and
talk
what
to
I
the
discover-
Italians too.
And what I discover, I can show it to you.
Please do. Jamie, Zep Tepi, did you find anything about that? About that? Where the origins of that?
Maybe a book from 1960, and I couldn't figure out how he got there.
Probably a long slodge through information, try to get to the root of it.
Yeah.
But can we continue
With
how,
what?
how it happened until you have the pyramids?
Sure.
Then Imhotep came and he
Let's
built the
speed him
same mastaba. Mastaba in Arabic means a bench. He built the construction in mud brick of stone for the first time. And he added more section to the first one. And he put above that 5 mastabas. It's called the step
pyramid. Yeah.
In the pyramid
So
text,
that's the first one.
In the pyramid text, they say that the step pyramid is a stairs that the king is buried underneath to go to heaven.
And this one was how many years before the Great Pyramid?
It's almost 700 years.
So obviously it's not nearly as sophisticated as the Great Pyramid. So in 700 years they just got way better.
But listen, now, on Dynasty 3, there is another pyramid was found, and only I found recently that I did not excavate it completely. I found a pyramid, which is the end of Dynasty 3, of a king called Honi. Then now we came to
His name is Horny?
Honi.
Honi, okay.
H-U-N-I.
Okay.
Then we come to Dynasty 4, Senefro.
Okay.
Senefro had a genius architect. His name was Nefermat. Then he started
Sounds like a good name for a genius.
Yeah, he started to build a step pyramid like this in a site called Maydun. But for a reason we do not know, he left it unfinished. And he went to a place called Dahshur. He built the pyramid with a huge angle. And he changed the angle. It became bent. And he built another pyramid. If you look at the other pyramid of the father of Khufu, it's exactly equal to the Great Pyramid. This is the first true pyramid. But people never go to Dahshur to look at this pyramid. People always look at Khufu. Then you have, in Dynasty 4, the pyramids were huge because of the quality of the stones. In Dynasty 5 and 6, there is no good quality of stones. Then the Egyptian made decrease on the volume of the stones and did increase in the volume of the war reliefs. Temples began to be decorated with scenes for the first time. In the Middle Kingdom, another trend. Mud brick pyramid, but underneath maze corridors of stones that if you go down, you will lose your way.
Oh.
Wow.
In the New Kingdom, they came in the top of the Valley of the Kings, a shape of the pyramid, and they buried all the kings like King Tut and others underneath the pyramid shape.
So that's the story.
That's the story.
All right. Well, listen, man, it's been fascinating talking to you, and I definitely am going to take you up on your offer. I'm definitely going to go to Egypt.
No, now we'll talk.
Now we'll talk.
We'll talk to
and you gotta
Mustafa.
send me that
Mustafa.
video so we can splice it in of the hieroglyphs that are on the wall. We'll send that, right?
I will send it tomorrow.
Okay.
But give the email to Gregor and Mustafa
Okay,
now.
we will do that.
And they are the people that will talk to them now to arrange for your trip.
Okay.
And I will invite you for a good
How many days do you think I should go?
10 days at least.
Jamie, you got to come. You want to do a podcast from there? Just you and me?
Let us do one inside the Great Pyramid.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh,
100%.
wow.
With the echoey though.
Oh, here's another problem with the idea that these Italians are proposing. Isn't there a wall?
Could you imagine, my gosh, a podcast inside the Great Pyramid and he says that, ooh, that would be cool. I would watch that.
Water table under the pyramid that's like 1 million years old?
No.
There's not water underneath there?
No.
What?
This is the Osiris shaft that was full of water.
Yeah, but
So
there is a water table. What excuse me? What? What? Excuse me?
Is that what Mr. Beast was swimming in?
Exactly.
But where's that water coming from?
It's a water table.
Oh, there is a water table.
This
Oh, there is.
shaft.
Okay.
This shaft. I brought a
I
company.
saw, I conquered. Weni Weedy Wiki.
And we did suck all the water out
Oh.
until he found underneath a sarcophagus and 4 pillars.
Oh, wow.
And this is the symbolic burial of the god Osiris. Because Giza Plateau was called in the New Kingdom Per Uzer Nebrastau, the house of Osiris, Lord of Rastau. Rastau means cemetery, but literally means the underground tunnels that Osiris is ruling. Then Herodotus, when he came, he talked about this water under the pyramid. It is in the shaft. And this when beast entered inside and
What a beast.
Swam in it.
swimming.
Okay.
You know, I met him because I wanted to convince the young people that pyramids were not built by aliens. That's why I took him to 3
Yeah,
major
I don't know.
sites.
I don't understand the alien thing. I think super advanced culture, super advanced
But you know-
civilization.
but
and I
you know-
think the Library of Alexandria burning is probably
I
one
agree.
of the
But
greatest
Joe,
disasters.
Many people in America believe that you believe in aliens. When I talk to them that I'm coming to see you,
That I believe in aliens?
they do.
Well, I'm not opposed to the idea of aliens existing.
Yeah,
There's hundreds of billions of galaxies.
What is he laughing at? You see, he's not applying what I said. He's laughing because Joe believes in the possibility that aliens exist, but he believes in a duck that was beheaded and then reconnected through magic. That's why I say you got to be intellectually honest when it comes to these things. Because if you believe something like that other people may think is weird, then you shouldn't laugh at someone else. That's what I was trying to establish, and he just failed at that. He believes in aliens, and I believe in a duck and a zombie duck.
in the known universe, each with hundreds of billions of stars. The idea
Yeah.
that we're uniquely alone. You don't think there's anything out there? Nothing. So you don't believe in ancient civilizations capable
No.
of advanced construction.
But Joe,
you don't believe
Joe,
in aliens.
Joe,
you don't believe in carbon dating.
I am a scientist.
Oh,
Now
If
you're
you
a
believe in something, right?
He said he's not a scientist in the previous episode, guy. Now he is a scientist?
An article,
I
then I
understand.
can read, but don't give me a theory.
But the theory of
He also doesn't he's clearly not a scientist because he doesn't know how the word theory works. So yeah.
planets containing intelligent life is
No, that's not true. I have been debating
true,
Graham
guys.
Hancock and Robert Bofal
It's not true.
and John Anthony West, and I told them from the beginning, your theory will go with the wind.
right. But we're not talking about that theory. We're talking about aliens being possible.
No way!
Keep hiding the reptilians. Doctor.
The
Only us in
national
the whole
project.
universe.
If
National
you believe in
project.
Us in the
God,
whole universe?
if
Only
you,
us.
If you believe in God, you will do miracles. The Egyptian
Okay.
believed in the afterlife, and they made this great civilization.
I'm not saying aliens made it. I'm saying it's very possible there's something else out there in the
Okay.
world.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you. All right. Goodbye,
I really
everybody.
enjoyed talking to you.
I enjoyed it too. And I'll see you in Egypt. All right. Bye, everybody.
Wow, that was something. That was something right there. Goodness gracious. Well, I hope you enjoyed this. Probably very long, but yeah, not my favorite guest. I'll put it like that. But perhaps another thing we could review is the debate that he had with Hancock. Maybe we could have that, but I don't know if I can take another hour or 2 or 3 or 4 about Mr. Hawass. Thank you, noble ones. See you tomorrow.
Because